What's something you lost interest in as you've gotten older? Video games waited over 10 plus years for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out. When it finally did, I bought a PS4 just for it. I was excited beyond belief. Maybe 1 hour in and I realized I had no interest in playing. I was only nostalgic, had more fun watching it being played on YouTube. It's sad but true. Sometimes when we can't get the enjoyment ourselves, we have more fun watching other people have it. Drinking and partying until I couldn't move the next morning. The hangovers took longer and longer to get over, so I don't drink to get drunk anymore. I used to think if I didn't get trashed at the bars with my friends over the weekend, it was a waste of a weekend. And now it's the exact opposite. Still love my friends though. Continuing to draw a breath. My imagination. I used to spend whole summers with my best friend creating new imaginary worlds and storylines for the toys we had. The imagination episode of SpongeBob really resonated with me at the time. What others think about me. Going to parties where I don't know many people and staying up late. Oh my god, I can't imagine showing up to a party where I barely know anyone. And I used to do that all the time in my 20s. Reading. It's heartbreaking. Chemo made my concentration abilities plummet. I'm hoping this is short-term, monsieur. Are you still on chemo? I had chemo and couldn't concentrate on anything. But now 10 years later I'm totally fine. They put me on the drug Compazine for nausea and I complained that I was freaking out and could barely think straight. They switched me to a different anti-nausea drug and it got way better. I'm roughly a year out. Thank you for sharing. I hope it gets better. I have a stack of books in my room silently judging me. Try podcasts. Personally, I don't think reading has much a future given all the new forms of equally interesting, creative, and educational content available in a much more efficient medium, monsieur. This is coming from a former, as of this week, graduate student, so I've done my fair share of the activity. Dating and having sex. I'm not even that old, barely over 30, but the idea of trying any more is so depressing. It goes quite well with my crushing loneliness. Lucky you, I am 30 and still a virgin. Video games. Gaming trends have kind of marched away from me. The move to multiplayer everything. If I have some time to use playing a game, I really don't need it fucked up by someone being a dick. I don't need to be ranked. I know I'm never going to get good playing a couple times a month. Game seasons. I am not going to stress over deadlines in a game to try and win a prize. Same. They are all battle royals. I don't enjoy battle royals. Get a Switch. I'm 35 and I was out of video games for years. It's extremely simple and convenient to pick up and the library is full of platformers and indie games with original ideas. I was totally obsessed with video games in my teen years. Now I find them exceedingly tedious. I just can't be bothered to learn a new game. People. Content with it just being me, my dog, and a couple other close humans. Pro wrestling. I'm still heartbroken about Greater Than. Finding out it's fake and massively orchestrated. My mom told me at age 14 because she was salty about a pay-per-view special I'd purchased. Lesson. Me too. Not because it's scripted entertainment, but because it's just gotten shitty the past 10 years. And anytime there's talent that could actually draw, they get buried and driven out of the industry. CM Punk. AEW is starting to catch my eye though. I just watched a street fight between Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega and hadn't been entertained like that for a long time. Celebrity gossip. Mainstream society. Welcome to the fold, fellow introvert. Live concerts. All of a sudden crowds. Loud music. Standing all the time. Became really undesirable for me. Watching the news. A lot of the internet fads. TikTok? Not interested. Instagram. It's boring and seems to do the same thing FB does. Creating memes? Seems like a lot of work for an obscure message. When I find myself delving into these things, that usually means I'm too bored. Time to put the phone down. Time to turn the computer off. Time to take a walk or go find someone to talk to. I'm with you there 100%. I used to love sharing my opinion about everything. Now I find myself just sitting back and letting others do the talking. Not sure if it's a maturation thing or not. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I just save it all for Reddit. I may never know. I just know I feel a bit better about myself when I'm not in everyone's ear all the time. Myself. Star Wars. The young me would have loved The Mandalorian, but it was just meh. Compared to the new trilogy, it was at least mildly amusing. I realize that isn't a high bar. Star Wars stopped exciting me after I grew up. I really wanted to like it, but yes, it was just meh. Honestly, it was okay. I wanted John Wick in space. Instead I got a believably emotional connection to a green baby and a protagonist that makes fighting sadly realistic. My extended family and their bullshit. I'm 30. Treat me like an adult and maybe I'll act like one. Yes, I have a job. I work from home. No, I'm not married and don't have kids. The right person hasn't showed up yet. Also, I didn't ask to be sexually assaulted. Nobody does. That escalated. That sounds really rough. I'm sorry. How can anyone in their right mind think that someone would want to be sexually assisted? Be they male or female. Watching TV. Over the years I have stopped watching TV. I mainly just use Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus nowadays. However, I still don't use them that often. I need background noise anyway. Quiet rooms weird me out. Guessing that is also the reason why Lo-fi is popular. People dislike quiet rooms but want something not distracting. A room without a TV is like a room without windows. Music. I used to be really into music. Always looking if my favorite artists were releasing new tracks. Now I can just put something on and go. He-hoo music go good. But drawing is another thing. I used to draw little doodles when I finished a test early. They looked like shit but I loved them. Nowadays I just twiddle my thumbs. I bought hundreds of CDs in high school and eventually ripped every one and uploaded to Google Play. Music with correct artwork. Tracklist. Artist. I would spend hours getting my library perfect. Fast forward a few years of updating it with new releases. I randomly stopped caring and never went back. Now I just have Sirius and 5 to 6 stations I like and just cycle through them. I also have Spotify Family Plan, but I rarely use that unless I want to check out a new album that I usually only listen to once and move on. Fine, an asshole to my family. MMORPGs complete waste of time. Well, if you enjoyed yourself then I disagree. Time enjoyed wasting is not wasted time. Many of us start re-examining that time wasted as we get older. It hits a lot of people eventually. Interesting. As I've gotten older, I use MMORPGs as a way to relax after work. It's very meditative. The difference is I'm not in any rush to hit endgame and don't put in as many hours as I used to. Music. It used to be my whole life. I was completely obsessed. I'd either be playing guitar or listening to my albums at every waking moment. I actually believe I was pretty talented and I could have done something with it if I'd applied myself and networked a little better. Next thing I know I'm 30 years old, with severe depression, working a shit retail job and wondering what the fuck happened to my life. The depression doesn't stop me from listening to music, but it stops me from feeling it, or anything. Listening to music now feels like flicking through a photo album of a dead lover. Everything. Having kids. Don't get me wrong. I love kids and used to really want them, but now I'd much rather have the time to do whatever I want without worrying about a child. I'm young and have already decided I don't want kids. I want to spend my time doing my own thing. Having kids just sounds annoying and stressful. Other people. Going out to bars. I don't drink anymore and I have a husband, so they really aren't that fun for me. Reading. It was always super exciting as a kid to stay up way past my bedtime and read with a flashlight under the covers until my mom came and told me to sleep. As I've gotten older and I've had so many other things to worry about, I can't sit down and read without feeling like I should be working on something else. I have so many unfinished books sitting on my shelves. Watching TV in general. It was my entertainment of choice back in the day. Now I rarely ever feel like it. Drawing. MMORPGs. Watching sports. Just don't give that much of a damn what young men are up to. I got other things going on. Drinking. Smoking weed, edibles is so much easier on me the next day and I have just as much fun without the risk of puking. Video games, unfortunately. My brain just classifies them as waste of time now and I can't get into any of the misere I used to game my heart out. Especially those which do not have any particular goal like Minecraft or Animal Crossing. Yeah, crafting and life simulation, I just cannot get into it all. Not hating on it but boggles my mind how so many like it. Sending good vibes your way, I'm struggling to accept the same reality. You said unfortunately, so I have a suggestion. Try a different type of game. I feel like I love The Witcher, but I don't want to dedicate hundreds of hours to it. Civilization 6. On the other hand, I can play asynchronously with my sister and her boyfriend. Take a turn in a few minutes. Move on with my day. Just don't play single player. Same. Even listening to people talk about video games seems like a huge waste of time. Even people talking about sports is somewhat better and I have very little interest in sports. Video games. They're 70% complete and always need an update now. Everyone talks about the meta and I just don't care anymore. Been in a rut for a long time. New systems are coming out and so far they're about as exciting as warm milk. Growing up I always wanted to be like a social butterfly but I never really knew how and I was kind of bad at talking to people. But now I'm an adult. I really just want to hang out with those two friends and my wife and I want to talk to literally no other human beings. And I know this sounds like an lol I hate people kind of comment. But I really think I just found the set of folks I want to be with from now on. Adding more people I care about or, alternatively, running up against people I don't care about just sounds tiring. Pokemon. Like IDK. I just don't get the same excitement out of it that I used to. Last Pokemon game I bought was Moon and I did beat it cause I was bored with it. I used to like country music. Really like it. I've evolved to several rock subgenres. Indie pop, hip-hop, rap, and ambient since then, though. Nice to see ambient get a mention. Underappreciated genre. Emo was big on pop, hip-hop, and rap as a kid and teenager. Cannot say the same now. I still tolerate today's hits, which includes these though. I still like the old stuff but modern country became unplayable once Sam Hunt came out. Survivor. Like, really? 42 seasons now? The 40th season finale is next Wednesday and this is one of the better seasons. It's the first time they're doing an all-winner season. Monogamy. When I was younger and just starting middle school, I had gotten into anime, and I would watch a lot of it. Naruto being my go-to. As I got older, I just grew uninterested in it because of how many spoilers got spread to me and it just ruined it. Even though I'm 19, I'm more of a cartoon person rather than an anime person. But Beastars just came out and I binged in that in an entire day. Another reason why I no longer like anime is that it's easy to just watch an entire season in under 4 hours without realizing it. Can say the same here. I completely lost interest in anime as I got older but still read Naruto up till its ending. I just have no interest in the medium anymore, and any attempts to do so just fall super flat. I'm 28 years old and think I grew out, stopped enjoying it around that age or so. Religion. Having friends. Playing video games. Not including The Sims. Getting attention. I just don't care anymore. Same. TS4 is my life lol. Gaming. computer gaming specifically. I don't have time to immerse myself in enormous games with plenty of story. I don't have the patience to play open-ended games with no set goal. I don't have enough constants to play games frequently enough to remember all from one play day to the next. I played enough games that almost any new game is mostly a rehash for me. Also, and I guess my profession has something to do with this, I see most simple games as an algorithm to be found. And when I've seen it, and so I think I could make a program that did it better than me, I get bored with the game. Most engaging mechanics just deter me from playing. And if I detect the game is making me waste too much time, I uninstall it super duper fast. And for mostly the same reasons I get bored with most media. Films, series and books. Seen it all before. I remember being young and able to count the books I did not finish. The first one for me was Foucault's Pendulum. Well, nowadays I could count the books I read in a year. At this rate I can understand why older people are grumpier and don't care for most media. By the way, I still will game daily. Dumb Android games to numb my mind. You got into programming. Awesome bro. I'd like to give you a original video game recommendation that could catch your interest. Baba is you. Check it on YouTube and you will understand how it works. It's very smart. I can relate to a lot of this. Specifically the looking at things algorithmically and having that suck the joy out of them part. As a child, young adult, it was easy to just be and experience things organically. As an adult, and with a proper understanding of how to analyze and utilize the internet to research, troubleshoot, etc. properly, it takes effort not to solve any games I try to play. It's almost like a curse. You want to avoid ruining it for yourself by boiling it down to a formulaic experience. But at the same time, to not delve into how the underlying systems work is also just artificially handicapping yourself. Lose-lose. So I, like you, just don't really play games anymore. The only one that still keeps my interest, though I still play much less than I used to, is Dota. At least competing with other humans isn't solvable. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.